Hello everybody, Mr. Sticksman here, and welcome back to Stormworks Career Mode. Today we're going to start working on a new vehicle which should be able to transport these containers that we can see here. They're quite heavy, but they're all, I think, the same size, even that one over there which looks a bit different. I believe the frame of that is the same as these. So yeah, we're going to go into the train shed just behind in the background over there and start building a land-based vehicle. We're not making a train though, we are going to build some kind of truck today, and it might have a flatbed or it might have a trailer, I'm not quite sure, but it'd be quite a big powerful thing hopefully, enough to carry at least one of these containers, and maybe it will carry more than one, or at least we can make a version of it which carries 2 or 3 or 4, I'm not quite sure yet. But let's head over in this direction then and see what we can come up with. And over here in the train shed, we do actually have this massive diesel tank, which is, 26,000 litres. So there's no worries about running out of fuel. But now let's head over to our workbench over there and get started. Right then, so what first? Well, I'm not sure exactly if this is going to be electric or diesel or a hybrid or anything like that. But I'm going to start off by putting 2 medium engines in the front of this thing. And we'll just see how we get on from there. Because, we do need a bit of power if we have to go up and down hills and things like that. I'm not quite sure exactly what the route is. We'll try and take the roads if we can, but if there are any shortcuts, we could go and do a bit of off-roading as well. So we definitely want to have a bit of ground clearance and plenty of power as well. So let's go and find our medium engines. And here we go. We'll have these two. And I'm going to face them this way because... we put them this way. Oh, hang on. That way. The cooling goes right at the front, and I'm going to have a couple of radiators here. They're not the best things for cooling these engines, but they should look pretty good at the front of our vehicle if they're sort of exposed. So let's find them here and hook them up straight away. And there we are. We'll just chuck them down there like that. And that is literally going to be the front of our vehicle. Next, we're going to do the exhausts, which are these 2 ports here on either engine. And we're going to send them down the sides. I'm going to have to use enclosed piping here because we're actually sort of building the body of the truck at the moment. And so this piping is sort of going to be part of the body, if you know what I mean. So we'll just put these down here. And a bit of a straight piece there. And then a T-piece, which is that. There we go. I mean, I really don't know exactly what I'm doing here, guys. It's sort of a bit of guesswork, but I've got a rough idea of what I want, at least for the engine and the front part of this vehicle. So let's carry on and see what happens. But then we're going to have another... that's it. We'll get another pipe just to go down the side like this and send it just along here for now. And I can't drag that. That's very... oh, there we go. I can drag it there. Good. We'll just leave it there for the moment. So the exhaust can kind of go behind the cab and stick up in the air, I'm thinking. Yeah, I mean, we can always change it, but let's go with that for now. Now, we do have fuel here, which what I'm probably going to do is have the fuel tank either around in this sort of position, or I can have 2 fuel tanks either side, just behind the cab underneath, if you know what I mean. So for now, let's route the fuel, join it together, right? Like this. Hang on a minute. We'll get it down a bit lower. There we are. Okay, so we'll put it into the middle and then send it down a line. Maybe we'll lower it first. Okay, so let's grab a straight piece here, which is, I think, that one. That's it. Then a T-piece. And, yeah, we'll just send it all the way down. Like this. And then this is going to be, I suppose, the flooring for the engine right here, like that. So... yeah, if we get a corner piece here and then spin it round, and then we're just going to send it back basically. So we'll make a bit of a hole here so we can send the pipe through and just bring it to there. Okay, so I'm not going to put the fuel tanks in just yet, of course, because we're just going to work on this part for now. But yeah, we'll have that line there ready to go. And actually, as I normally do, I'll probably just give it a bit of colour, black there, just so that we know what that line is when we come to deal with it. Exhaust, I guess I can make them grey or something, just I should have coloured them before really, but now we know what the exhausts are. That's the fuel there, so I'll just do that for now. It doesn't have to be perfect, does it? There we go. course, they will be coloured differently eventually. That's just temporary. There we are. Brilliant. Now, here we've got air as well. Oh, I've got an idea for the air, actually. Let's have some kind of scoop on the bonnet, right? So we want to bring those in with a T-piece. And yes, that's going to come... Well, we might have to make the actual hood first. If the bonnet or the hood, as some of you may say, is up here, the scoop is going to be sort of in line with where the power outlets are for the engines. I'm guessing, you know, that kind of area. So let's just for now put a temporary setup on there. And I'll go back to white for a minute. Actually, I'm going to use blue as its air. And we want a couple of angle pieces here. Like that. I think that's the right direction. Yep, seems to be. And then we'll grab a straight piece. And they'll just run over the fuel line for now. Okay. And then I'll have a T-piece which points upwards. And it should look pretty monstrous, actually, this thing. If we get some scoops on it and all the rest. And actually, the game is going to be getting real scoops at some point. Because on the experimental branch, that is going to be receiving some proper scoops soon. But this one, of course, won't quite be a real one. It'll sort of be... It'll work. It'll still be the air intake. But it won't be a proper scoop at the moment. Alright then, let's bring that up. And... yeah, that seems to be about right. So let's just, to give us an idea, I'm going to stick that on there and then find an intake like this, right? And we'll just put it on. It's going to be that. We might have to shift it back a bit, I'm guessing. But as long as we have it there for now, at least we know what we're doing, right? Actually, that might have to be one higher. I'm just thinking, yeah, probably, because it's going to be in the way, isn't it? We need to cover up the engines here. So if we just make that one higher. That's it. And then connect that up. Merge it in. And just see if we can... Oh, we can chuck some... yeah, there we go. So that's what I'm thinking. It's going to have, you know, a cover over the engines, essentially, like that. Which then comes down. It probably sloped down a bit. Yeah, I think so. I reckon that'll be good right there. Okay, then what if we use some wedges here? So we can get a rough idea of the shape of this thing. Are they going to work from... Oh, they do actually. That's a bit of luck, isn't it? Alright, that's not bad, is it? That is a very good start, I have to say. Of course, you know, I might even keep the red actually. We'll see. I could make that black. I mean, everything is subject to change, but what I'll probably do as well is have these sloping down a bit. So if we find a pyramid, let's make those red, and we'll just take a 1x4 thingy. And does that work around these pipes here? I'm not sure. Oh, it does as well. Yeah. Look at that. That is going to be pretty good, isn't it? Put some of these things in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so even the shape is now starting to form here. We won't need these things to be sticking out quite so much. There we are. We've got everything connected, right? We've got cooling, which may not be good enough. We'll have to see. But we have cooling at least for now. We also have fuel and exhausts down the side. I know roughly where they're going to go. And yeah, so the air, which is the scoop on top. Fantastic. Okay, now as we've done all of that, let's actually start building some of the bodywork down here. And then find out where the wheels might go, right? Because that might be handy to figure out roughly where they're going to go early on. So I wonder what we're going to use here. Is it going to be quite square here? Maybe. Maybe it will be quite square there. Okay. Seems alright. And we'll just make a line under here and see what that looks like. It's quite a bit. It is going to be a big thing, this. It's going to be pretty large. I wonder if we could make wedges here. Like, yeah, I think that's a bit better because it'll just look a little bit less tall at the front. I mean, if we just spawn this in right, we can see just the approximate size. Okay, that's good. I'm actually quite happy with that size, to be honest. You know, because, you know, it's going to be pretty long, this thing. We're going to have to shift it forwards in the workbench, and it's probably going to be, you know, with a trailer, for example, like maybe this kind of length where I am right now. I'm not exactly sure yet, but let's take it back in and carry on then. Now, if we just bring this back. Okay. I think we can make this look a bit more aggressive down here if we have some, maybe some darker. Let's try the dark grey again. I do like the dark grey in this game. We'll just try and put some of these things on. Give it a bit of texture as well, you know. Oh no, that's... Hold on a minute. Let's see if I can redo that like that. There we go. That might have to change this around a bit, but... Does that look there? Yeah, it looks a bit more... Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I quite like that. I quite like that. Makes it look a bit more rugged and interesting to look at. Okay. I might actually colour these bits red as well, just so it... Yeah, that's probably going to work better for now. Anyway, let's leave it like that, and we can always change it later if we need to. But let's colour in the radiators as well. And soon enough, I will actually colour in the exhaust. I think I'm pretty happy, actually, with where they are. So it won't matter anymore. There we go. And, yep, I'm pretty happy with the fuel as well. As long as we don't bash into anything. Because if we, like, run into something head first, if this fuel line breaks, you know, that's going to basically, you know, stop our connection between the tank and the engines. So I may go for a bit of protection over that. I'm not quite sure how I do that yet. I suppose we could do this kind of thing over the front. Chances are, though, damage can actually go through one block and into the next as well. So that may be a bit pointless. But anyway, for now, we'll leave it exposed. And we are going to be careful. We're not really going to be jumping off mountains and stuff, right? So it should be okay. Now, next, I guess I want to start thinking about the wheels, to be honest. Which I think maybe like here. I don't know. Let's just have a look. What have we got down there? We want a bit of ground clearance here. So I'll just make a bit of a line over there. Figure out approximately where they're going to go. Like maybe here. And then we've got to find out the size as well, because I'm not sure which size of wheel we're going to use yet. So let's try the 5x5. And that may not be big enough. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, we're too wide. Well, that's interesting. I can bring it back in anyway. Let's try that. There we go. That's better. Are they big enough? I might have to go for the 7s, to be honest. Let's try the 7s here. There. That looks better, actually, to me. I might go for the suspension version. It's a good point, actually. If I do, will it fit? 7x7 suspension. No, it doesn't fit. So we'd have to take off at least one block here to fit it on. And then it doesn't fit there. Okay, that's alright though. We can move it back one. Or we could just have 0 suspension. I don't know if we really need suspension here, do we? Not really sure about that. 7x7 suspension still won't fit there. I mean, obviously, we are going to have some kind of wheel arch here, so it might well fit in the original spot there anyway. We don't want it to be too far back, do we? Because the weight is kind of at the front at the moment. We've got these two... there's the centre of mass. We've got these two engines here. So let's just spawn that in and take a look. Oh my goodness, right. Yeah, of course that's going to happen right now, but... Later on, it should be pretty heavy in the rear as well, because it'd be quite long, this thing. So that shouldn't be a problem. And of course, the cab is going to go sort of just here above, or, you know, to the left of where the wheels will be. So yeah, let's take it back in and continue. Looking good so far. Just for now then, what I think I might do... Actually, I've got an idea for this. Instead of having this bar here... which will be basically the underside of the truck. What we could do is lift it up a bit first. Maybe with... Oh no, we're going to need that power going in there. Let's use some wedges here. There we go. So it just gives us a bit of ground clearance. I mean, of course, these parts right down here. It's quite hard to see, isn't it? But these parts right down here. are fairly close to the ground, especially if we have suspension on these things. However, up here we've got a bit of an upside down V shape, and that should just help, you know, if we do run over anything by accident. Chances are that's not going to happen anyway, so, you know, everything will be fine, I'm sure. We'll just send this all the way back for the moment because we want to give ourselves plenty of room to work with, and I am going to have to move the whole things forwards a bit. Okay, just like that. And there we are, we've now got the very beginnings of our truck. So let's continue. And right, here's the power. Now, do I want to go for generators, which will charge batteries and therefore we can use electric motors on the wheels? Or do we want to power the actual wheels with the engines itself? I'm not quite sure yet. I could, and if I do have generators, right, could they go directly into the engine? I mean, I'm guessing we're going to have to use some gearboxes with them just to make sure they're, you know, running as good as possible. But depending on the size, like they're medium generators, they're quite hard to spin up anyway. The ideal situation is probably to use a 3-to-1 ratio, isn't it, on those things? Let's do what we can for now and start thinking about where the cab is going to go. Okay guys, we're going to end this video here, but the next video will be recorded already by now. We're going to build the cab next and put a steering wheel in. And, you know, this build is probably going to be 3 or 4 hours just to get sort of a basic version of it up and running. So, you know, instead of doing it all in one video, I'm going to just spread it up into 2 or 3 or whatever. But thank you so much for watching, and the next video will be out quite soon after this one right here. Take care everybody, and see you next time. Bye guys.